What is up, peeps? Hope we're all doing well. Welcome back to the channel. I know I haven't done one of these in a long time, but I just feel like for the first time in a long time, today was freaking amazing, and something incredible happened in the esports and gaming scene that I just could not share with all of you. And it was because a lot of you watching, a lot of the callbacks and a lot of the call outs out there and the community coming together to say, hey, this is just not right. And it's one of those rare times where it's like, wow, I somehow played a part in something so great. If you guys did miss it, it was the entire Apex community. And I do apologize for all of the echoing in here. We are actually literally having someone come in this week to redo this entire thing and have an actual setup soundproofed for all of you guys. But it was so incredible. It was actually Apex Legends hosting a $1 million LAN event, their first LAN event since 2019, upcoming here pretty soon in Sweden, to which they invited their top 40 qualified teams across several regions out to compete in. Unfortunately, what we found out as well is only half of those teams would actually receive funding for travel and stay whilst competing in the $1 million LAN event. Now, that might not be a big deal to some of you, but of course, to a lot of the teams from smaller regions, some of those teams who are maybe not represented by well-backed companies or organizations who are willing to pay those prices, it's a pretty big issue, especially when we're talking about EA, who makes billions and billions of dollars, let alone billions from Apex Legends skin sales, and can't put up what would be several $1,000s per team, and let alone the fact they actually made the statement to say, hey, only the top half of those teams are going to be properly accommodated. It was something that certainly rubbed me the wrong way and a lot of community members out there, because if you look towards Riot Games, you look towards, Dota 2 in the international, Valorant, whatever esport you name, typically for these big events, especially a LAN event for $1 million and the first LAN event in 3 years, these devs, these game makers are going to be fronting those fees for all teams partaking. This is certainly one that you don't really expect to see, especially from EA, and a lot of people were rightfully pissed off. I actually got to talking to a few of these players and a few of these teams, and I was trying my best to put it out there, and I was very fortunate to play a very small part in what really sparked an absolute landslide from all of you guys that are probably watching this, because shortly after all this, you not just had players or teams, you had big Apex members also calling out EA and Apex Legends for not simply funding all these teams who are going to be partaking in this LAN. All these teams who suffered and actually grinded to be able to qualify for such a big LAN, and who maybe don't have the funds to afford to actually get there. Luckily, most of these teams are backed by big NA or EU orgs who are able to, put up those funds, but not all of them are. We even saw several players complaining and saying, hey, our team is now going to be looking for sponsors. We're doing maybe GoFundMes, trying anything to raise the funds to make it to the biggest event of our entire lives. Then shortly after all this, we had ImperialHal, we had Noko, we had NiceWigg. So many big names out there. Eventually, Nickmercs starting to call out EA for what seemed to be very much something that shouldn't have been an issue in the first place, right? And at the end of the day, I just sat back, as luckily enough, Apex Legends, after all of these gigantic names, they were responding. I think Myth said something. I think other people, were quote tweeting my tweet or other tweets out there or player tweets. And it was so beautiful, because I was looking at Twitter the entire day, trying to really chronologically order everything that was happening. And it was in a span of about 8 to 10 hours that all of this went down, where you saw, unfortunately, maybe some teams or players who either were going to have to find some other way to pay for it or not go at all. And then all of a sudden, the community turned. They said, what the heck are you doing, EA? And everyone started to take notice. And at the end of the day, it was EA and Apex Legends announcing, hey, we have seen your complaints, and we are going to switch up and pay for travel for every single team competing at the event. Which just makes sense when you think about it. Not only do you make billions of dollars, but you're literally giving an advantage, a financial advantage, to the top qualified teams, let alone the teams from lesser regions who certainly might not have the funds to actually go to your event, which again is going to be the biggest event they have ever had the chance to qualify for. None of it made freaking sense. But sitting back, it was so freaking beautiful to watch all of you guys partake and outcry and complain and call out for rightful reasons, EA not funding these teams. And slowly but surely, with all of the community support, that's what it took. it took everyone making a stand to make this happen. And maybe it's just me from a news perspective, but it was beautiful to see it all unravel. Like, you guys made the change. And that's crazy. Like, this was all sparked by a matter of tweets. You made EA open their eyes to the Apex esports scene, and you made a difference. And that made my freaking day. Like, that's what I do. And that's why I love that you guys support your favorite esport, which might be Apex, or you support the gaming scene in general. So thank you all for responding. All it takes is that extra like, that retweet, that comment, that reply. And a lot of you guys partook in that. So I just wanted to say thank you, Apex community. Today you guys made a difference. And I am so thankful that I played a teeny tiny part. I can't wait to watch the LAN now, by the way. It's going to be freaking fun. Till next time, take care of yourselves. Drink your water. Drink your coffee. Okay. Bye.